Hey, Holly. No, don't grab the mic. You want to say something? Yeah? Whoa. Okay, don't grab the cable. Don't grab the mic cable.
You want that?
Welcome to Parenting by Dummies, an unexpected podcast.
Episode 4, first month with the baby.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Parenting by Dummies. I'm Cole.
And I'm Fabi.
And this is episode 4. We are going to talk about the first month with the baby. Up till this point, we've covered finding out you're pregnant, being pregnant, having the baby, and now we're going to kind of go over what the first month was like with her. I guess we can start with when we got back from the hospital.
Yeah, so you get discharged. And what's really nice of what our hospital did is they sent us home with food. Frozen lasagna and brownies and some rolls, because they know that as a postpartum mom and couple, you're gonna have your hands full and you're gonna need like a head start with food. Mm-hmm. My mom and Cole's mom really helped us out with food. They always brought us some food because we're figuring this thing out and it was really hard. Yeah, the first month with the baby really is it's very hands-on. You have to be at the baby's side basically 24/7. Right, because of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. Which is a great way to start a podcast, by the way. Very scary. Very scary name for a syndrome. Don't let it freak you out. Here's the actual definition. Sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS, is also known as cot death or crib death. It's the sudden unexpected death of a child of less than 1 year of age. Diagnosis requires that the death remain unexplained even after a thorough autopsy. So that's basically, they just call it that if they don't know why the baby died. Basically, there's a lot of ways that your baby can get hurt or suffocate if you leave them in the crib by themselves with too many blankets or pillows, or if you hold them the wrong way. Don't prop the bottle. Like, if you're not holding it and you prop it with pillows, they can drown with the milk. So actively feed them yourself. Don't use some kind of third-hand method so you can go do something else. Just keep an eye on the kid. That's all it really was. Yeah, so this stage, they call it the fourth trimester because you're processing this postpartum time and you're getting to know this new human. They're getting to know you as well. So it's really a time of, I don't even know. I don't know. It's like, what do you call it? It's like meeting someone. It's a lot of introduction and bonding and trial and error. We had to create a schedule for feeding her, because she needed to have a bottle of milk basically every 3 hours. Yeah. Yep. Every 3 hours, constantly, morning and night. There weren't breaks because babies don't really, they're just sleeping and then they wake up to eat and then they basically go back to sleep. So it wasn't nighttime where she'd go to sleep and then you can have a break. So we kind of worked out a thing where one of us would wake up, or what was it? We'd go take turns, right? So we would both get 6 hours of sleep. So, 3 hours would go by, you'd wake up to feed her, 3 hours would go by, I'd wake up to feed her, 3 hours would go by, you'd wake up, so we each got 6 hours. Something like that, but my mom, I feel like, took a lot of the night shifts because, what she really wanted to do was for me to heal quickly. She came from a really big place of love because, she was my mom and she wanted me to just recover from the surgery. And, of course, she also wanted a bond with the baby. Same with Cole's mom. She wanted to also bond. And it was a good time for the grandmas, too. Yeah, the grandma's got a lot of time with the baby. On top of the food schedule, the diaper schedule was pretty crazy as well. I think when she wasn't eating, she was pooping. Yeah. Man, she pooped a lot. 3 main things in their life right now. All they do is poop, eat, and sleep. And just those 3 things over and over. It's very, very hands-on. We were lucky we had her in May, so I had just got out of school. And I graduated. I was also on summer vacation. So we had the time to dedicate to that, but it's very hard. I can't imagine doing it on a schedule, with things like work and stuff. Luckily, I was able to take work off. Let me tell you, folks, here's what you do. Figure out the due date for the baby. Kind of get that situated, contact your work. I had to talk to Target and we had to go through all this stupid paperwork and I had to make all these stupid phone calls to set up my leave, my paternity leave, right? Save up your vacation time, take your paternity leave, and then also slot in, take your vacation time right after the paternity leave because Target didn't give me jack. They gave me 4 weeks, I think. So I did 4 weeks and I took 2 more weeks and then I quit.
It was amazing.
And also on the topic of feeding, this is where you're going to figure out if you want to breastfeed this child for the next year or if you want to bottle feed with formula. And that's a journey, and whatever route you want to go with, whatever works for you, because what many of people have told me is that a fed baby is best. Doesn't matter how that baby gets fed, as long as they're fed, it's fine. No judgments. I tried to breastfeed, but the hormones hit me like a brick and it felt like it changed me. I was a different person. I felt very depressed because of the hormones of the breastfeeding, or maybe the postpartumness. I don't know. They were both happening at the same time, so I couldn't differentiate which one was which. So I just went the formula route and I started feeling like myself, but that could have also been because the month was getting over with and I was feeling normal anyways. The time that I was able to breastfeed, and I pumped exclusively for a little bit after that too, I really cherished it a lot because I felt like I was doing something really hard personally. It took a lot of energy out of me. It was a lot of work. And then everyone has a different experience. For some women it's really easy. It's like they latch, you just let them do what they gotta do and that's it. But some moms can't get that supply, and it's like an emotional battle as well because you feel like you're not enough, which is not true. Again, a fed baby is best. Don't listen to all the judgment that's out there. It's really annoying because we're all supposed to just support each other, right? What matters is the health of our baby.
And something else from the perspective of the father or husband or what have you, do not be ashamed if you can't breastfeed or if you decide that you can't keep going with it. I know that was a thing that Fabi was concerned with, was not just, how she felt about not breastfeeding the baby, but how I felt. And I kept telling her, I have all the same respect for you. I don't look at you any differently because you don't breastfeed the baby. I get it. It's a lot like that allegory of, if you're on a plane and you need oxygen and your kid needs oxygen, you have to put the mask on yourself first, because if you pass out, you can't help the kid. And with the breastfeeding thing is, if it taxes you mentally and it takes all of your energy and it depresses you, you can't take care of your kid if you're not taking care of yourself. And there's so many alternatives. There's formula, there's the breast pump, which we used for a while, where you just pump the breast milk into a bottle and then the baby can drink it that way. There's so many other ways to feed the baby. Do not feel like you have to breastfeed. And your husband, your partner, should not look down on you for that at all.
Right, it's your body and you do what you can, whatever you're comfortable with. I think if we were to have a child in the future, I would try to breastfeed again just because I did enjoy it the first time. And the second time around, I kind of would know what to do. But then again, it's another season of figuring out, is this for me again? Because, Holly didn't latch. You don't know if the next kid's going to latch. And it could go great. And it's like, oh, okay, so, moms have a more successful time the second time around. So
I think The Office kind of made the not latching thing scarier to me. I always kept thinking about that, was they made it Jim and Pam were so freaked out that their baby wouldn't latch. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
and then so I was like, oh, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? And then it was fine. Do not be scared if the baby's not latching. Don't feel bad.
They also have breast feeding counselors. I forgot what they're called, but the hospital has people that will help you learn how to make your baby latch and they'll teach you everything. Take advantage of that while you're in the hospital.
Yeah, we had a really nice lady. There was also the consideration, adding on to that body toll were just the milk stains, because once you're lactating, it doesn't stop. Fabi had to wear pads or paper towels or other absorbent things in her bra because all the time the lactating didn't stop.
Yeah, literally the first time I took my shower after I was able to produce milk, I was in the shower and then I got out and I was milk was coming out from everyone. I was like, bro, this is annoying. I just took a shower and I felt dirty again because the milk is slightly I don't remember if it was sticky or not. I know formula's sticky if it dries. Also, you'll have to change your wardrobe. You have to wear shirts that have zippers or something that's more easily accessible, and just pads and I mean, some moms don't feel like they don't need these extra accessories. I feel like I needed them, but to each their own.
Something I also recommend is when the kid is coming, when your baby's coming, schedule your photos probably ahead of time. Like, get a date a few weeks after the baby is born or after the due date, just to make sure that, you know, you obviously don't miss anything. But get photos scheduled as soon as you can with your newborn, because we didn't do a lot of photo shoots, but we did do one with a family friend, and it was really nice.
I'm glad we did that. But also, like, don't worry about it if you can't do it. You know, ask grandma or auntie or somebody outside to do it for you. So, because they have a clearer mind and probably a lesser crazy schedule than you, and they can help you.
My mom really helped make that happen for our baby shoot. And so did the photographer, Megan Toohey, and Tracy Clifton, both friends of my mother's. They came out on their own time, and they got their cameras, and they really came through for us. It was awesome.
It was really, 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 really awesome.
There's not too much to say in terms of, like, baby behavior, because for the majority of the first month, baby was just sleep.
So your baby will shed. It's really freaky because Holly was really peely. Remember, her skin was peeling.
Oh yeah, that did
scare
scary. I forgot about that.
But it's normal. It's gonna go away on its own. Just give them their baths, not too frequently, but like.
How frequently do we? I only have photos of one bath time.
Yeah, the doctor said not too frequently because it'll dry out their skin.
Maybe 2 baths total, I think, in the first month.
Not in the first month.
Like, that's all I have documented.
It was like was it one bath a week? Or
I don't know. You did that, I guess.
I forgot.
Was it Target?
What
Stupid.
else? Holly got these red bumps all over her too, and it was a baby rash. It was baby acne. Also a normal thing. Don't freak out. It goes away. What else freaked me out? Her lips seemed swollen sometimes, but that's also normal because she was like always sucking on the bottle, so her lips it's kind of like baby lip blistering. It went away. Also, their poop is a weird color too. It's like yellow.
Yeah, the poop was really there was a lot of it. She pooped a couple times a day. I think like 3 or 4 times a day alone. I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was kind of a hassle. It was very liquidy. But I think it kind of chilled out to about twice a day after the first week or so.
Actually, it wasn't very liquidy. The doctor it was like dry rub. Remember? Like yellow dry rub. That's what the doctor said.
I know. That's gotta put an image. Someone's gonna be driving to work and they're gonna throw up on the freeway.
Eating their wings.
Stop. We learned pretty early on that the baby is not very active. She slept most of the time. She didn't have her eyes open, but she knew like when she was being taken care of. So this was a thing that I read in a pamphlet that Fabi got me, and it really kind of proved itself, was that if you take care of your baby, they won't cry much. They won't cry as much. If you take care of them and you have them. But when the baby needed us, we were there. Like we had the food on schedule. We got her food before she cried. We checked her diaper and changed it before she looked uncomfortable. We rocked her, all that stuff. And she was pretty docile. The first month there was not a lot of crying. Not a lot at all. And she basically was just pretty much sleepy. She started to kind of wake up and wiggle around and open her eyes more towards the end of the month, but really that was like the week leading into month 2.
A lot of our parents, they would always tell us, like, she's a good baby because she wouldn't cry a lot.
That's why we're scared to have a second one. I think when you have a kid, like, it's throughout all the months, it's always the same amount of work, but it's different types of work.
Exactly.
So, like, we had to feed her more frequently and change her diaper more frequently, but it was a lot less work because she was smaller and the poops were smaller. She didn't move. And also the bottles were smaller, so she drank them quicker. And then when she wasn't eating, we could put her in her crib and sleep, and we could actually have her next to us and get work done, or do dishes or something like that. And then later on, you see her, maybe she needs to eat a little bit less, but the bottles get bigger and they take longer to feed her. And when you start walking away and she gets mad, like right now, we can actually record this podcast. She's just on the floor crawling around, which is like we don't have to hold her anymore, but also we have to keep an eye on her because she's crawling around and grabbing wires and stuff, like right now. What has she got?
Glow sticks.
What's that, Holly?
Can I see?
Oh,
you got the glow sticks.
But yeah, not too bad. It was definitely easier to set the baby down because she would just sleep. Like, you'd feed her and then she'd sleep, and then you could get some work done before you need to feed her again.
We didn't mention the biggest thing.
What?
Like,
what's the biggest thing?
You won't sleep. I mean, I guess you slept. I didn't sleep. but my mom helped me take naps and stuff. You lose your mind a little bit. Oh, this shouldn't be included. Sorry. It's just...
Well, I mean, it's valid. If you...
I feel like it's going to discourage people. But, I mean, it's the truth.
Well,
They're
no,
gonna
it shouldn't discourage... Well, it should discourage them if that's not what they want with their life. Like, if they're considering a baby right now, but, like, the time is a huge thing. If you're an artist or a creative person and you're working really hard on getting out there, you have to consider what's more important. I'm talking about if you're making the choice, not if you're already pregnant. Yeah, seriously. She's right. No, like if you are trying to decide, if you're in the stage right now of deciding, should I bring a kid into this world, you do need to seriously consider that aspect of, does your sleep mean a lot to you? Are you working on a lot of things and you're thinking, like you've thought through all the pregnancy stuff and figured, I can do this, but now you're looking at the month 1 of the baby. And the work you have to do goes way up. It's a lot more work to actually have the baby than to be pregnant with it, So if your sleep is that important, if your time is that important that you can't be taking every 3 hours to feed a baby, or you think that you're going to go insane, you think that, consider not having the kid right now, Because it has to become your priority. It is a real thing to consider. So that's valid, Fabi. That's totally valid. Don't be discouraged by that, because it's a labor of love.
It is. And, even though you're sleep deprived, they wake up, like, instantly smiling, and it just fills your heart.
We had some tough nights. I know that me and Fabi didn't always agree on that kind of stuff. There would be nights where I'd be like, the baby's sleeping, you can go to sleep, but she wanted to stay up and watch the baby and keep an eye out, and it's...
Or I'd have to wash bottles, because...
When she had to wash bottles. Yeah, like don't be discouraged. But there is that. The sleep is, you have to be waking up every 3 hours to feed that kid. So I guess that was probably really the only major difficulty with month 1 then, was the sleep probably.
Well, I feel like we still struggle with it a little, only because of school. I can only do homework or stuff when she's asleep.
Yeah. There was a middle period where it got easier to put her down for a little while.
The period where it felt like we were actually like getting some rest is when she started sleeping through the night. I was like, what? She didn't wake up?
Yeah, we could actually put her in the crib and go to sleep, and then we're back to where she just doesn't want to go to sleep. She fights it. But that's for another episode. Parenting by Dummies is hosted by Fabiola Ruiz and me, Cole Perrin.
And produced by Alejandra Gavilanes.
With special thanks to Blake Perrin for our theme music.
You can follow this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts, or whatever platform you like best.
And keep up with us on Twitter at Parent by Dummies. Once again, thank you guys. Holly, you want to say anything? You want to close the podcast?
Come here.
Let's get the baby up here.
Oh, the big girl. I'm going to say something.
Okay, babies. You want to say something for the podcast? Look, say hi.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Dada.
Say dada.
Dada.
Yeah. Say podcast. Say send us money. Say send us money, advertisers.